Thank you for staying with us, and we're with Ed McDermott, who is the president of the Ludwig Institute in America. Ed, before the break, I said that I'd like to have a conversation now around how the Austin Hospital fits in with the Ludwig Institute, and also give us an idea of what Olivia Newton-John's Cancer Research and Wellness Centre will look like and what it will offer.
I'm happy to, Robyn. The Austin Hospital is one of the clinical trial centers for the Ludwig Institute. And we've been talking about translating our basic discoveries into benefit to the patient. And that takes a variety of capabilities and resources to do that. And central to it is having clinical outlets, and those are hospitals. And the Ludwig Institute operates on a global basis, and not just any hospital fits the needs for these trials. In addition to having an interest and an inclination to do this and to support clinical trials, to be within the constellation of Ludwig clinical centers, these hospitals have to have a tradition of patient-based studies. They have to have a culture of integrating science with the treatment of a patient. So we have 25 clinical centers around the world. But among the most important and the most active site that the Ludwig Institute has is the Austin Hospital in Melbourne, Australia.
Out of all?
Out of all. So approximately 30% of all of the clinical trials that the Ludwig Institute is conducting are carried out at Austin Hospital. And one can rightly ask why the Austin as opposed to any of these other centers in major cities in the world. And I think it's associated with an unusual convergence of events. The Austin, first of all, has the unequivocal commitment of the senior administration of the hospital to patient-based research. It's got an eager, committed, and bright group of clinical investigators. It has a diverse and informed patient population. And I think that, together with the overall passion that exists there for trying to improve cancer treatment for patients, has made it certainly the hub of our clinical activities around the world. And what this means is that the Austin Hospital, that we are bringing to the Austin Hospital the most promising and interesting clinical cancer opportunities that have been generated in the entire global Ludwig research enterprise. At the same time, the observations that are made in those trials at the Austin radiate out to our other clinical networks around the world and instantly inform trial concept and trial designs around the world. So it's a bilateral relationship. It's exciting, it's dynamic, it's pioneering. Now, the Olivia Newton-John Cancer Center is going to allow the Austin Hospital to rationalize better some of the allocation of space, expand the resources and the facilities that are going to be available to cancer patients, including the wellness center, so that patients will have a wonderful place, peaceful place to go, to meditate, to be with their family, to be at peace with themselves. This will add an exciting new dimension to the Austin Hospital for the benefit of the patient, and it'll strengthen the partnership that we've had with the Austin since 1990.
It's amazing, isn't it? Because what I'm kind of hearing in, my own simplistic terms is that we have orthodox medicine, so to speak, with a more alternative approach and actually marrying those two together to give the best treatment and care. So let's just say that someone is watching this particular program with you and they had just been diagnosed with cancer today. What is their success rate of healing that cancer now with what you're talking about with these trials, etc., to say 10 years ago?
I think, unfortunately, the progress in the last 10 years or even in the last 20 years has not been as great in the clinic as some would hope. I think the opportunities lie ahead for us, but clearly there is progress, and depending on the particular cancer type, there's more progress than others. But what we're trying to do is harvest this knowledge that has been out there. We've been walking through these beautiful plateaued farmlands over the last couple of days, and we see the fields being plowed and getting ready for planting. Well, our fields have been planted. We have the knowledge out there. It's time to harvest some of it. And certainly our scientists and clinicians are very, very encouraged and hopeful with what they see.
Okay, that's a nice metaphor, actually. So then just back to that question about someone being diagnosed. So would it be fair to say then that, you know, it's not a death sentence?
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
absolutely
let's give them
not.
some good news.
And that is the point. There are therapies out there. There's a lot. I mean, there has been progress, and there is much more to come. And the reality is that cancer as a total disease state is probably not something we're ever going to conquer. We're battling a pretty tough customer here. It's as sophisticated a system as exists. The fact that cancers have been able to evade our immune system, all the drugs that we've been throwing at them, it makes it a formidable enemy. But the fact of the matter is that we do think that while we will be able to cure some cancer types, that as a general proposition, it is realistic to express that we expect that we can control cancer. That cancer can be something that we die with, not from, and have a quality of life during that period.
Okay. Now you're talking about controlling some cancers. I believe there are some cancers, for example, Gordon, who actually works at the
testicular cancer, yes.
Yep. And that has a 98% success rate.
Right.
Can you just share with us the ones that have a higher success rate, the ones that don't, and why not at this moment in time?
I think that, Robyn, you're having Professor Sabone on.
Yeah.
He will be able to more accurately state that than perhaps I can.
Okay, so Jonathan question next week, folks. Alrighty. Mobile phones, wireless broadband. There seems to be some evidence coming out that the electromagnetic waves, etc., of some of the technology we're now using is starting to cause some problems within the whole human gene pool. Do you have much information on that?
Unfortunately, I don't have much insight to be able to offer you, Robyn, on that. That is not an area at this point in which any of our scientists have really gotten involved. And being a basic cancer research institute, we do not direct our scientists or give them specific research projects to work on. They're very sophisticated and intelligent people, and they elect their areas to pursue, and then we try and help them in every way we can to develop it. But it has not been something that has been on our research palette of late. But it is I am certainly aware, and you are very correct, that it is an issue and that there is research going on in that area. Okay. It's just not going on within the Ludwig Institute.
Okay. I believe also someone special, just kind of moving away from that for the moment, someone very special to you is on this walk with you.
Yes, my daughter, who graduated from college last June, is with me, and she's about to go into medical school in August, and so this will be her last opportunity to take a little vacation for a long time, I'm afraid. So I'm delighted to have her with me, and she's been great company.
Okay, well, I think we should take a break and then bring her on the show with you.
Wonderful.
Okay, so stay with us, and we're going to meet Ed's daughter, Kristen.